Welcome to the pig pen at Ridgeview Farm. For those of you who haven't met the pigs yet, we have with us today Pipsqueak, Billy, and back there taking a rest is Moki. And I would like to today read you The Little Pig, the Bicycle, and the Moon. Rosie, the little pig, had everything she needed to be happy. A large mud bath to play in, enough food to eat whenever she wanted, and a deliciously smelly pig pen. Play, eat, sleep. The little pig wanted nothing more. Until the day a red bicycle appeared in the yard. To her, it was pure wonder. It was ridden by a small, very ugly animal that had no snout or curly tail. Rosie spent hours watching the small animal on the bicycle. That's easy. I could ride a bike too. What do you guys think? Could you guys ride bikes? One night, the little pig quietly snuck out of the pig pen. The yard was empty. Everyone was asleep except Rosie and the Moon. You can watch if you want to, Moon. The bicycle, leaning against a wall, seemed to be waiting for Rosie. The little pig got onto the bike, started to pedal, but bonk, the bicycle fell on its side. She tried several times, but the same thing happened. It's more complicated than I thought, said Rosie. Learning to ride a bike can be pretty tricky. There is probably something I'm doing wrong, but what? The next day, she again watched the small animal on the bicycle. To start, he gave a good push with his foot. So that's the trick. I'll get it, and when I know how to pedal, I'll go to the other side of the world, and maybe even farther. I love her positive attitude. The next night, Rosie dragged the bicycle up a hill, thinking that would make it easier to gain speed. She was right. The bicycle took off, rolled a few yards, then began to zigzag. And boom! It crashed into the side of the hen house. The hens, awakened by the noise, were dying of laughter. How humiliating! Oh no, look at poor Rosie. She looks so sad. That is not fun.
Ashley.
A little shaken, Rosie decided it would be safer to wear a helmet. Look at her helmet she found. When she arrived the next night, the entire barnyard was already there, waiting for the show. The moon was there too, and Rosie felt as if it were watching over her like a friend. I know how, announced Rosie, climbing onto the bicycle. You must first give it a good push, but then it's important to keep your balance. Rosie started down the sloped path that led to the pond, while the chickens followed her cackling. She made it down the hill without losing her balance, but she couldn't make the turn just before the pond, and splash! Rosie was in the water with the bicycle. What's that? Man overboard? Shouted the dog. She wants to ride a bike, answered the chattiest hen. It will never happen, gobbled the turkey. The dog looked at Rosie with sympathy. Come back tomorrow. I'll help you. That's sure nice of the dog. protective equipment, adding to it, for extra safety, a rubber tire and a snorkel. The dog was waiting for her as promised. "I will pull you." He harnessed himself to the bicycle and pulled. The bicycle quickly gained speed. But suddenly a rabbit crossed the yard, running toward the vegetable garden. The dog could not resist the temptation to chase it. "How do you put on the brakes?" And Rosie landed on her back between the tomato plants and the leeks. Uh-oh. Rosie now added a new piece of equipment, a cushion, just in case of falls into the garden. With her new outfit, she felt invincible. "This time I'm completely ready." It's not enough to give yourself a good push and then keep your balance. You also have to know how to turn and put on the brakes. That night, the goat was called in to help. "I will push you." She planted her horns and rushed straight ahead while Rosie pedaled furiously. After a few minutes, the little pig turned around and was astonished to see that the goat was gone. "That's it! I can ride a bicycle all by myself." The moon had never been as bright as it was that night. "You see, Moon, I did it!" Thrilled, the little pig pedaled with all her might. She braked in front of the gate, opened it, turned right, rode up the hill, and disappeared into the moonlight. What became of her? No one knows. Some say she pedaled and pedaled without stopping until she reached the other side of the world. They say she now works in the circus, where her performance is very famous. Others say that the other side of the world wasn't far enough for Rosie, and if you look up high when the sky is clear, you can sometimes see a little pig on a red bicycle pedaling on the moon. Look at how happy she is. Thank you for joining us at the pig pen today. It looks like the pigs loved the story. I hope you did too. I hope you have a wonderful summer and lots of reading. Bye.